Hello, I'm Brillante Mendoza. I'm the director of Motherland. Motherland was shot entirely in the Philippines, and I must say this is one of my most challenging films.
Okay, now I have to ask why.
Why? Because we shot this film, Motherland, before the pandemic, and we have to start, towards the end because of the pandemic. So while shooting it, it was summer because it was based on a real story and it happened somewhere in the south, and it's summer, and it's a cornfield, and we have to have cornfield, so we have to plant corns and then wait for them to grow.
Oh.
And yeah, we have to wait for 2 months for them to grow so we can shoot in this cornfield. And but it's summer, it's very hot, and since it's a cornfield, it's a farmland, we don't have any shade to cover ourselves. So, and we are in the Philippines, so you can just imagine how hot it is. It was very hot. So, but I think we all felt this challenge, not only for the actors, but most especially for us also. I mean, just to have a feel of, what really happened. Sometimes you also have to have a bit of experience of that, so you have a better understanding of what you are doing. So I told my crew that experience, these people died. We are only filming about their lives, so, and we are only experiencing a bit or a fraction of what they have gone through. So, yeah, it was fun but difficult.
And why did you decide to shoot a movie about the particular incident event?
Well, because there has been a lot of news about that. It was one of the most controversial, situation about the police and the government. In the Philippines, as you very well know, there was this drug on war. There was a lot of healings, etc., etc. But this one stood out because maybe it happened. Nobody knew about it. Of course, that's to be done secretly, but suddenly, boom, there was this thing that happened. Because at that time there's this what do you call this? This agreement. There's a term for that. This agreement where you cannot fight the government and
Ceasefire, you mean?
yeah, a ceasefire. A ceasefire. There was an ongoing ceasefire. So you don't expect this. You don't expect this while during a ceasefire. So that's the first thing, and then the second thing about I got so affected because it's command responsibility, I think, and this could happen anywhere in the world. When you are the person who's in charge, no matter what, at the end of the day, you should take responsibility, of what happened to these people, because they are followers. They don't decide. So yeah, and it could happen to a big group, to a small group. It could happen in the Philippines, somewhere outside the Philippines, anywhere in the world, because the higher ups are always the most powerful. So they have this huge responsibility, for us people, because our lives are always at stake. I mean, we are all dependent on our leaders, and to become a leader of a country, you have to really take charge and be responsible about it, about the position. So, yeah, that's one thing that really, got into my head, and I think I told myself that I should tell this story, so that we can be more responsible, not only the powerful, but also us to ourselves. In a family, when you're a father, you have to be responsible with what you say, what you do to your children, because it will instill in their mind whatever you said to them, you did to them, or whatever. So it goes beyond, when you are in charge.
And this is happening in Mindanao, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
what's
Yes.
the situation there now with the Moro and?
Well, not as bad as before, but it's an ongoing situation. It's an ongoing situation since the early 70s. So, yeah, there has been a lot of laws that were made, the Bangsamoro law, etc., etc. But the problem with, I think, in Mindanao is that there are different groups, there are different tribes. There are several tribes. They're all Muslim, but different tribes. So with these different tribes, they have different, culture. They want to have different law, different from other tribes. So it's very difficult to really put them together, and amongst themselves also, who should be representing the Muslim government. So that in itself is already a big
But
problem.
it's still violence still. Is there?
Not as much as before, but there's still, of course, it's still guarded by the government, by the military. You cannot just, especially foreigners, you cannot just roam around in that area. But there's no like killing on the street or something like that. It's usually in the mountains, or because it's surrounded by sea. So that in itself is also very difficult. So, and it's not easy to go there, in other parts of Mindanao, because Mindanao is huge, it's big, okay, and there are a lot of Catholics also living in Mindanao. So, yeah, and this is not my first time to shoot in Mindanao. I shot Thy Womb in Mindanao. I've shot, not Captive, but Captive is also about Mindanao, and then I have a Mindanao movie. So,
You are
and then
from
the
Mindanao,
Moro movie.
You
Sorry?
are from Mindanao originally?
I am not from Mindanao.
Ah, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Love is from Mindanao. Love Diaz is from Mindanao.
This is from
Yeah.
Mindanao. Okay.
I'm from Luzon, so sometimes I'm criticized by some, filmmakers from Mindanao. Why am I keep on doing films about Mindanao? Because I told them, you are not represented well. I want to represent you are a minority. They are a minority actually. I have a small film festival in the Philippines, and I focus on regional films. And I took some of the films from that part. And most of the films I took, the shorts, are from that part of the Philippines also, in Visayas and Mindanao. Not so much from Metro Manila, because that's where a lot of mainstream is going on in Metro Manila. So this unrepresented artists or filmmakers from the South, as I'm trying to focus on. And in my own little way, if there's an opportunity, I also try to make films about Mindanao.
And have the families of the people that are, and they're getting killed in the movie, have they seen the movie?
This one, Bansa?
Yeah.
No, but Moro, they've seen it. I've never had compliments, good compliments in my life. When I invited them, they really like it. Even the language, because I use their language, because they have different dialects in that part of the country. And I specifically use Magindanaoan for Moro. And I invited all the Muslim head in the Philippines, the cultural head, etc., from the arts and from the government, and they really, really like it. They said that it's the only film that they've seen so far for the longest time where they were not shown as bad people, where they were shown as human being, that also hurts and that also suffers. So they like it a lot. They are promoting it to the Muslim community in the Philippines. But one thing bad about the Muslim areas that they don't have technology, they don't have access. They don't have so much cinemas. Very few in the far areas of Mindanao. They don't have anything except schools, you know.
Okay. And okay, well, most of your films are very political. They're still very political, and we live in an age where I feel that cinema is getting less and less political. So, but
Yeah.
you keep on that. Why?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's just a matter of purpose and also a matter of choice. Like, I feel that as an artist, I have this responsibility also, to make things happen and, in my own little way. Because I'm an artist and I just don't want to do what everybody's doing, where you are appreciated and all that, but more on what I can do in my country, what I can do, for this less people, I mean, unheard and minority. That even sometimes when maybe you notice that even when I do films about people in the center of the Philippines, I focus on the poor. I focus on the less fortunate, who are not actually a minority in my country, but they are less heard. Yeah.
And this year, actually last year, I saw Masajista, your first movie.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so what do you think are the biggest changes you have experienced since then, both in cinema and you as yourself as a
Yeah.
filmmaker?
Yeah, maybe it evolved. I mean, even I, as a person, as an artist, as you grow old and as you get older, there are a lot of things you understand that it's not just about your art. Like Masahista, when I did Masahista, okay, I just want to make a film. I was given this opportunity. I am comfortable in doing this. But if you remember, in Masahista, I tried to also show my roots. That's where I came from, in that part of the country. And they speak the language I speak. Okay? And my hometown, that's where I shot, in my hometown. So, and it's a small crew, and that started all that I can make films with a small crew. It doesn't have to be huge. So that really somehow parang it started it all, but I think I started with the right people, with the right perception about cinema, that it doesn't have to be grand, that you're not supposed to be surrounded by, a lot of stuff and crew who does nothing on the set. I can work and function with a small group of people. So I think that set my mind, in a way. Plus, of course, I try to explore also not only personal films, not only about gender issues and all, but I still do that. Like my next film will be about gender, about choice of gender.
Okay.
So I try to be more flexible, like I've been doing a lot of like what you said, I'm doing a lot of political films lately. Then the next time I'll try to do on other stuff that are not similar.
Okay, okay. And to get back to Motherland a bit, can you tell me a bit about the casting? How did it work for the movie?
They're all professional actors from the Philippines, most of them, even the one who plays small roles. But generally, the extras are all real staff members, and we use real guns, etc. And we had a training with the actors. I had them trained how to hold a gun, etc., etc. I have them trained by some officers also, how they say those words, the right movement, the right way to hold the guns, etc., etc. And what do they say when they are in the middle of a gunfight or something like that. And the nice thing, there were some survivors also, who are part of the team. Survivors meaning those are not the ones that really enter the field, but the ones that really guard, the group that entered the field. there were several survivors who were part of my production. So they can really guide us. Of course, they know what's happening, but they were not right there. Otherwise, they will also die.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the survivor, I was able to talk to him over the phone because at that time he was undergoing a psychological treatment
Really?
because, of course, because of the trauma, etc. So they tried to let him avoid being interviewed. But I didn't know about that. I went to Ifugao, to where he came from. It's it's in the north, it's very far, it's in the mountain also. We found her place, his place, I was able to talk to the brothers and the parents and knew more about him, his simple life, and how we took all these things that happened to him. Yeah, but he was not there in their house at that time. He was somewhere else having this treatment.
And can you tell me a bit about the cinematography? You have this visual style that's between documentary and fiction. I feel you have perfected this style with your trademark. But can you tell me how you achieve this result?
Yeah, I always try to find truth, in every shots that I do, because if I don't see this in real life, then it's not real. So I have to blend that. But then at the end of the day, this is that life. This is a movie. This is a film, and it is not a documentary where you're shooting real life situation. So where my cinema is coming from is like a docudrama. You try to merge reality from fiction and try to maximize as much as possible the real part, the reality part. So the actors, they have to, one advice I always say, you are not here as an actor or someone trying to perform, the character of this person. No, you are this person. So when you come here, you don't ask me of what you're gonna say, do, or what. You come here as a character. You know yourself better than I am. I know you. So. Yeah, and I think that's being responsible actor. That's being a responsible actor. So they do that. So my workshop is basically more of trying to fill themselves with all the equipment that they need when you go to a war or when you are. It's like studying over again, like the soldiers in the film.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, to achieve this result, how many takes does?
Normally, it's one take.
It's one take.
It's one take. Yeah.
Okay. In this case?
Yeah, it is also one take, but sometimes you need to have like a closer shot. So you have to, go closer for the camera because the lens is not fit for a full shot, for instance. It fits for a close-up. So we have to change lens and go. Otherwise, I shoot very fast. I don't have a lot of rehearsal. I try to avoid rehearsal. Rehearsal is more on the camera. It's more on the movement of the camera, but not so much of the actor. Because I want the actors to really move and according to, that specific situation that they are into during the take. Because sometimes I change blocking in the middle of a shoot.
How you do?
Yeah, so that it will somehow surprise the actor, but at the same time, you will know that they are, within their character, Because if they don't know, like, what am I doing? Like, why did you change that? No, they don't. They just follow. They just follow.
And how would you describe the situation of Filipino movie industry at the moment?
Well, to tell you honestly, it's thriving, and that's one thing that really surprised me because cinema is dead. I mean, nobody goes to movies anymore. I mean, theater anymore. So I was wondering why there are a lot of Maybe because of its accessibility, maybe you don't really need a lot of money to really produce a film, because if you don't use paycheck actor, then it's basically you just spend for the crew and equipment, no? Not so much payment for the big talent fees for the actors, big actors. So what they do, what the filmmakers now do, they get one or two big name actors, and then they try to merge the non-actors with them, and then there's a, but most of the film that they're doing are mainstream.
But the Filipino
Horror.
audience go for Filipino movies?
They do, but not so much on cinema, like on streaming.
Okay, okay. And the last question, I guess, can you tell me a bit more about your next project?
About
Your next film, the
Your
one you
next
just mentioned?
project. Okay, I'm very excited about this because again, it's a different genre. It's a crime drama. You know, so basically it's about a Filipino transgender woman who went, and this happens during the 90s. Okay, when the economy of Japan started to,
Plummet, yeah.
yes, and also when the government of the Philippines, they become strict, quite strict with the entertainers going to Japan, and when the start of, this is also the start of the Yakuza falling down, and the government, Japanese government, taking control. So this story happens during that time. And so most of the Filipino entertainers, most especially transgender women, who do everything, just to stay in Japan, even illegally. So this is about that, about the journey of this transgender woman who got involved with the Yakuza syndicate just to be able to survive and stay in Japan.
Okay. So one last question, because I saw that T-shirt there with the Gensan pants.
Okay. Yeah, that's those are my producers.
Yeah. So, but can you tell me how was your cooperation with Sogen? He's a friend. So.
Yeah, he's part of that film.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
part of that film.
Yeah. How was it working with Sogen?
Well, of course, now because it's in Japan or the Philippines, we just communicate on, and he has a daughter already, a little girl.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's basically it. But, with this new film that I did some revisions, and the role became bigger and more interesting. Yeah, I love working with Shogun because he's a very passionate actor, and it's a good friend. He stayed in my house. Yeah, when we were filming filming Jensen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it. Thank you very
Thank you
much
so
for your
much.
time.
Yes,
Okay, great.
same here.
Can we take a picture together?